For decades, the corporate ladder was built on a single pillar: the manager. They were the essential conduit, translating executive strategy into ground-level action.
We thought they managed the chaos. But what if the pillar itself is dissolving under the weight of its own reporting?
Welcome to the Macro Cut. I'm Maeve.
And I'm Miles. Today, we're investigating the silent crisis of modern work. The automation of middle management. When AI takes over the reporting, the coordination, and the optimization, what happens to the human being whose job was to hold it all together? Think about the potential if we flipped the script. Instead of using AI to track how many reviews did you got, we could use it to map the neighborhood.
The questions you should be asking yourself. Is this a rural town or a dense city center? What's the typical average income? Are these customers driven by coupons, or are they looking for premium service?
A manager with that AI-driven microview doesn't just manage inventory. They manage the store's identity. They'd know exactly what kind of team to hire based on what the community actually needs, not what a home office in a different state thinks that they need. Take the district or regional manager level. Currently, they're the biggest victims of spreadsheet paralysis. They're flying from store to store, carrying a tablet full of aggregate reports that tell them everything is average. But they can't see why.
It's a performance ritual of travel. They show up, check the boxes, and leave.
But if they used AI to look at the micro of the macro, they'd stop being a traveling inspector. They could compare the demographic pulse of Store A, the rural area, against Store B, the city center.
Instead of demanding every store hit the same corporate standard, they could use AI to identify which store needs a community event, which one needs a different staffing mix, and which one is failing because the corporate mandate is a bad fit for its specific zip code.
But Maeve, let's stop being vague. If a manager is stuck in that data relay loop, how do they actually flip the switch?
We've talked about this before. The 80-20 rule. Most managers currently spend 80% of their time policing the past. To pivot, you have to invert that. You use the AI as your policing layer, and you reclaim your floor time.
Maeve, AI is a massive, confusing umbrella. If a manager wants to actually do this, where do they start?
We're not talking about some futuristic sci-fi robot. We're talking about 3 specific categories that exist right now.
Number 1, demographic analyzers. Take that term, plug it into your browser, and look for tools that can ingest your local zip code or sales data. Test a few, and see which one gives you the clearest neighborhood profile.
Number 2, exception dashboards. Search for AI-driven business alert systems, or automated performance monitoring. You want a tool that can sync with your data and be set to quiet, meaning it only pings you when a red line issue actually happens.
And number 3, coaching co-pilots. Search for AI roleplay for employees, or AI onboarding platforms. Look for one that lets you upload your company's internal best practices, so it can roleplay those scenarios with your team.
2 big warnings before you start. First, compliance. Before you plug any of these into your company's network, verify they meet your industry's data privacy rules. Never feed sensitive client information into a public tool.
Second, always build a sandbox.
That's right. A sandbox is just a safe zone, a separate, test-only environment where you can play with the AI, make mistakes, and see how it works without it ever touching your real client files or live store data.
Honestly, once you start using a sandbox, you won't want to work any other way. It's the ultimate low-stress way to master new tech.
And once you've reclaimed those hours, you can become the manager that best fits your employees. Every employee has a different ceiling. One might be a technical genius but a nightmare at upselling. Another might be a natural salesperson who misses the technical compliance steps.
That's where the manager becomes a tailor. You don't give the same advice to everyone. You look at the store data, you look at the individual employee's performance gaps, and you run role plays specific to those gaps.
You aren't just telling them, get your numbers up. You're saying, I see you're great at the tech, but you're losing the customer on the upsell. Let's run this scenario again together. That's not a data relay. That's deliberate practice.
It's the difference between managing a fleet and mentoring a team.
The shift is away from being information processors and toward becoming empathy engines. Coaching, mentoring, ethical reasoning. These remain uniquely human domains.
The macro cut isn't about replacement. It's about radical elevation. Middle management must pivot from being data curators to becoming cultural architects.
Because the most valuable currency in the future won't be reports. It will be connection.
And that's a metric no algorithm will ever be able to manufacture.
Join us next time for another deep dive of the Survival Guide. Hit that subscribe button, and remember to check the micro of the macro cut on Substack at NYAM78 for the full breakdown of this week's toolkit. We'll see you next week.